Okay. Who LeBron? In the
1, 2, 3, 4.
Kobe's better anyway.
Mike.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the
Max Limmer.
No, it's close.
That's not good.
It's peak for peak. LeBron had a
We got me? We good?
longer.
Good?
prime.
All right, here we go. No, I'm still.
I got
still
Kobe
hear
over
myself.
LeBron.
Still hear me.
I got Mike,
2000s.
Kobe, LeBron.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Over there, though?
Boom. Now it's on.
That's older people. I'm
Microphone
trying not to
speakers
cuss,
on.
man.
Oh, good. All right, here we go. All right, I'm good.
Can't hear them.
You sure?
Well,
He said he
I
can't
heard them earlier.
Well, text Shawn and tell him you can't hear him.
Don't text me. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PorterWay Podcast. We're having some technical difficulties, just a little bit, but we're making it happen. We got Jim Lampley right here on the PorterWay Podcast with us. And you got us, Jim?
I'm here.
There he is. How are you doing, sir?
Well, now that I have managed the electronic minefield one more time to establish an audible link to a part of the universe in which I really want to be, I'm elated. And it's always an upset.
Yes, sir.
As one of the most cyber-challenged people you will ever meet, and which is why that's why God made engineers, so that people could set me up in such a way that I can be heard. And now my wife is a better engineer than I am. But on we go. Here I am.
Yes,
Good to
sir.
see you all.
Listen, y'all hear that, right?
Yeah.
Y'all don't care?
Of course.
We good, then we good. All right, here we go. Jim, a week away from
Removed.
work.
Yeah.
A week removed from work. Work that you hadn't done in quite some time. Did you go back and listen to yourself? How did you feel in the moment? Kind of just take us through an experience that you hadn't had in quite some time.
Well, as you know, I am simultaneously returning to work as I did at Ringside in Times Square, and then also promoting my recently published autobiography. So about 10 minutes after the last fight, if you want to call it that, ended in Times Square, I was back on the book tour and flew to Los Angeles and did a terrific appearance at Freddie Roach's Wild Card Gym, and before that, a couple of terrific appearances in San Diego. So I've been, back across the USA, all over the map, back from the subject of the boxing matches in Times Square to the subject of my book. And you say 8-9 days ago, yeah, I get that. Feels like a month or something like that since I finished doing that work in Times Square. It was called Fight Again, obviously. We all, Tarver, Coppinger, myself, we all would have wished that the combat was more interesting, that in fact it was combat. And it turned out to be a truly underwhelming night of fights in Times Square, and I can't possibly tell you why that turned out to be the case in every single one of the fights, but that was it.
I got one more. This one just came to me, and I'll let you guys go. When you watch a fight, are you able to see what guys are thinking, what they're feeling in the midst of what was going on at Times Square? At any point, were you able to look at those guys and kind of think maybe they feel this way, maybe they're thinking this? Could you figure it out at all? What caused it to be? Every single fight was very, for the sake of words, uneventful.
It was safer for me to rely particularly on Antonio to try to interpret what was going on there. I was back calling fights. Let's be honest. I was back calling fights for the first time in 6 years. So you can't just step into the chair and assume, okay, I'm going to have all the same filters. I'm going to have all the same base of knowledge. I'm going to be just as perceptive and knowledgeable about this as I was the last time I did it 6 years ago. I didn't want to take that for granted in any way. I wanted to be as respectful as I could of what was going on in the ring. So to a greater degree for Tarver and even Coppinger than for me, the responsibility was there to take the fighters to task for refusing to perform for whatever reason they refused to perform. And it was, to watch Haney skirting the ring with his back to the rope, circling, to watch Ryan Garcia fizzle the way Ryan did in that fight, even to watch Teofimo taking a safe, easy win, which was certainly within his rights and within his capability, but which did not entertain. All of those things were kind of a setback for people who might have wanted to see real entertainment in Times Square that night.
Jim, we know what's
We're
interesting.
nodding here.
Jim, what's interesting to the point of what you and Shawn are talking about, the fights not delivering and you being honest about what you're seeing, because that's kind of a lost art in commentating today. A lot of commentators kind of turn into the extension of the promoter, and they're always, regardless of the action in the ring, trying to sell the audience that what you're seeing is good. What you're seeing is worth. They're worried that if they are too honest about something not being good, that people will tune out. Even in the NBA right now, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal inside the NBA, they're having their final season on the air, and there's a lot of people critical that they're too critical of the product right now, the NBA. But I don't know. I think it was refreshing for you to not tell the audience that this chicken shit is chicken salad. Telling them what's really happening. Do you think there's value in that? And what do you think of a lot of commentators kind of drifting away from being critical, even when it's worthy of being critical of the fight?
One man put me back in that chair, and his name is Turki Al-Sheikh. I owed my return to boxing blow by blow mostly to Turki Al-Sheikh. There are other people in the organization who I think are also supportive. I have not had enough conversations or time sitting down with Turki Al-Sheikh to know exactly what his particular attitude is or is going to be toward fighters who don't perform on the cards for which he's paying a lot of money. But I just sort of took it for granted that I could be me. He said he wanted me, and me in the past has been a guy who has tried to be as honest as he can be with viewers about what he's seeing. A long time ago, when I was first beginning what became the greatest friendship of my adult life with Emanuel Stewart, I asked Emanuel in an early conversation, I said, why are we so naturally copacetic? Why is it that we get along so easily when we've barely known each other in the past? And he said, Jim, real knows real. And I've always kept that in my head as a piece of advice from Emanuel that can help to guide me through the whole landscape of boxing. Real knows real. And what real knows real means in this instance is if you know anything at all about boxing and you've been around the sport before and you understand what it is to really perform in such a way as to give the audience everything it wants, you know that wasn't it. And you can't hide from that. So again, I was me. I said the things that I wanted to say. I tried to paint the picture exactly the way it is. I hope, for the sake of my future employment prospects, that Turki Al-Sheikh will see it exactly the right way. I didn't ask him that night. I didn't have a chance to do so, but I was there to work for him because he was the person who put me in that chair.
There it is.
And Mr. Lampley, you've been around some of the biggest fights. And in the stadium, you can feel the energy at night when the main event's coming. Sometimes once the co-main is on, it's like it's build up. It's probably because he's my friend, but the most intense I've been is Spence Porter because I felt the roof was about to go off the arena. Did you feel any energy that night leading into those fights?
I mean, unfortunately, I think there were people there who really wanted for the card to take off, but once the fighters began doing what they were doing in the ring, there was very little to sink your teeth into. And again, I've mentioned the stars here who fizzled because of the way Ryan fought in the main event. Rolly Romero, generally seen as a go-forward attacking fighter, was able to stand back and pose and get an easy win. And because of the way Teofimo fought, he got an easy win too, but he got it without doing anything that delivered fireworks or crowd-pleasing action. It just seemed to be an unfortunate night of matchups in which fighters stood in front of each other and didn't perform in the way that we would have expected them based on their past histories to perform. I mean, if I'm wrong about that, let me know, but that was the way I felt about it.
No, you're not wrong about that at all. But let's look to the future a little bit. I know that upon coming back, you were looking forward to a big explosion in New York Times Square. That didn't happen, but do we get Jim Lampley back for some more commentary ringside?
Well, I'm not the one who decides that, and I was back because people who matter understood and realized, practically without even asking me, do you want to come back and call fights? Do you want to go back to doing what you've done? And the answer obviously was yes. I'm a boxing blow-by-blow guy. I don't have another profession at this point beyond that. Maybe book writing. I wrote the one book I could write, and now it's out there, and I'm selling it. But at the end of the day, if I'm going to keep working, it's going to be as a fight caller, as a ringside blow-by-blow guy. So that's what I wanted to do, and I certainly hope that, regardless of what happened in Times Square, that I'm invited back to do it again. I'm not afraid to say that. If that doesn't happen, well, the clock is running, and everybody runs out of time at some point or another. So it's more a matter of, do I want to work than if I need to work? And the answer is I want to work, because I love to come to boxing matches. I love to talk about them. I love to be with the people. I love to rub shoulders with Shawn Porter and all of his friends, and that's part of the game for me.
Jim, before you get out of here, man, I hope you are the blow-by-blow guy come September for Canelo versus Crawford. You were the blow-by-blow guy for Mayweather-Pacquiao. That fight, Mayweather-Pacquiao, made a lot of money. It didn't quite deliver the fight people were hoping for. Do you think something similar happens with Canelo-Crawford, or no, that fight actually delivers what people are looking for?
I think they are both much more naturally inclined toward combat than one of the participants was in Mayweather versus Pacquiao. And the one who was less inclined toward face-to-face combat in Mayweather-Pacquiao was the one who was technically skilled in such a way that he could control the action. Let's face it, if Floyd wanted all the air out of the balloon, he was the best at removing all the air from the balloon. If he wanted a low-action fight that he could manage and walk to an easy boxing victory, he could do that against virtually any opponent. That was a part of his vast skill set. So for years, people would come up to me on the streets, grab me in the hotel casino, and say to me in breathless tones, when am I going to see Mayweather versus Pacquiao? And I would say, what is it that you think you're going to see? Why are you so excited about that? Because I know what you're going to see, and it isn't going to be fireworks. It's going to be a spectacularly skilled performance on the part of the person who can limit the fireworks, and you cannot blame him for that, because regardless of what you pay, because it's his job to win the fights, and that's a huge part of how he wins the fights he wants to win. So I knew that Floyd would nullify Manny the way he did. And he did exactly that, what I expected him to do that night. And it was just surprising to me how many fans thought, as some other people think, that if you put two great fighters in the ring with each other, that's naturally going to be a great fight. That isn't the case at all. Styles make fights. And if you put two counterpunchers in the ring together, there's every chance that they're going to stand at each other and look at each other and pose. So somebody has to make a fire in order for there to be a fight. Put an attacker against a counterpuncher, put in two attackers. Can't miss. That's how you get Gaddy Ward or Barrera Morales. But an attacker against a counterpuncher, really interesting fight. Let's see who gets the better of it. Two counterpunchers against each other, as we saw too many times recently, they don't make a fight. They look at each other and wait for a cue. So, you have to work with people who know how to make fights and know how to put the right kind of combustion into the ring. And sometimes, people wait years and years and years to see two-star fighters in the ring together, and they don't get what they want. I'm very happy that Crawford is going to fight Canelo, because even if I have some doubts and misgivings about the size matchup, it is two action fighters who like to fight aggressively at times, not all the times, going against each other, and we'll see who can open the other person's tuna can, so to speak.
Jim, before you get out of here, why don't you plug your book? Tell everybody the name of your book and where we can find it.
The book is called It Happened. The author is Jim Lampley. The most poignant element of the book is that the title came from my call of George Foreman's win over Michael Moorer at age 45. The prologue, the first thing you read in the book, is the 19-year-old me watching the 19-year-old Foreman win his gold medal in Mexico City. The blurb that he wrote that's on the back cover may well have been one of his last public acts, and he died 2 weeks before the book was published. So it's impossible for me to think about my book, It Happened, without thinking about George and how much I miss him. And the good news is that I'm not weeping right now, which I have done on some other occasions since he died, because I did not have any foreknowledge or realization that he was on the verge of that or headed in that direction. And I'm still very deeply hurt and disturbed by his departure.
I know you are, Jim. So I'm sure most of the boxing world. One more thing before you get out of here. Wait a minute. Tell us where we can find the book at.
So you can get the book on Barnes & Noble online. You can get the book on Amazon online. You can get it at your neighborhood bookstore, particularly if it's an independent bookstore. Don't walk into Barnes & Noble expecting to see a big stack of Jim Lampley, It Happened. You might find 2 or 3, but there are really great independent bookstores who recognize the importance of boxing that might have 30 or 40 of them. But at the end of the day, not difficult to go online, Google Jim Lampley, It Happened, and find a way to buy a copy. I wish I could send a complimentary copy to everybody in the world, but I'm sure every author thinks that.
One more thing, Jim, before you get out of here. Give us one of your storyteller. I love you. Give us one of your favorite boxing ringside stories.
One of my favorite boxing ringside stories. Well, there are a lot of great stories in the book, and the best story probably relates to the fact that I was first assigned to boxing at ABC Sports by an incoming new executive in charge of the sports division who wanted to get rid of me, and he thought that there was a style difference between me and the boxing ring, and that if he assigned me to boxing, he would make me uncomfortable in such a way that I would walk away from my contract and leave ABC Sports. He did not realize that the very first event my mother had ever sat me down to watch after my father died when I was 5 years old was Sugar Ray Robinson versus Bobo Olson for the middleweight championship on Gillette Friday Night Fights when I was 6 years old. And I began learning about boxing. But when he assigned me to boxing at ABC Sports to get rid of me, the other thing he didn't realize was that the division had just signed a get acquainted, look-see contract with a 19-year-old heavyweight from upstate New York, whose name was Mike Tyson. So the very first event that I ever called in boxing on network television was Mike Tyson versus Jesse Ferguson in Glens Falls, New York. And Shawn, you'll remember, that's the famous, I wanted to drive his nose bone into his fight brain, when Mike absolutely obliterated Jesse's nose in the middle of the ring in the 5th round with an uppercut, and there was blood all over the ring. And my expert commentator, Alex Wallow, stepped into the ring to do the post-fight interview and said, "Mike, tell me about the uppercut." And Mike said, "Katamata taught me that the purpose of the uppercut to drive the opponent's nose bone into his brain. I wanted to drive his nose bone into his brain." And I was standing at ringside thinking, oh my God, this kid is not only going to be the greatest quote machine in boxing, he's going to be the greatest quote machine in sports.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks, they all came rolling out. Boxing is a hurt business. Everybody's got a plan until you hit them. All the quotes that, to be fair, Customato had taught him. But he knew how to recycle them. He knew how to make them come off the page. He did, in fact, become the #1 quote machine in sports. And that was what I was treated to by an executive who wanted to get rid of me. I did eventually leave ABC, but that executive had written me a ticket to HBO, and I'm grateful to the day.
Yeah.
Jim, I got it. That Bobo Olsen fight, wasn't that when Ray Robinson landed the perfect punch, the check left hook to knock Bobo Olsen out?
Absolutely, but I didn't know what a check left hook was in those days. I had to wait for my ABC expert commentator, Alex Wallow, to teach me technical things like that. I used to go up to his apartment on Fifth Avenue and sit me down for 2 or 3 hours at a time to show me all the things I didn't know about boxing. Watch the way the body puncher holds his opponent's arm on the side away from the referee so that he can land body punches while the referee doesn't see that he's obstructing the defense, et cetera, et cetera. All those kinds of things Alex Wallow taught me and made me at least a reasonably competent play-by-play guy at the beginning. And then I got to call fights for 30 years. That's how you get good. You got to have a lot of repetitions to get good.
Yeah.
Well, he knew the check left hook by the time Mayweather knocked out Hatton. He called that. So yeah.
Listen, Jim, we love you.
Floyd had a lot of craft that mimicked some of the things that Sugar Ray did. So does Terence. And Terence is psychologically a latter-day Sugar Ray Robinson. He has the same kind of capacity to be charming and then in the next 30 seconds to turn on his fire. And that, I think, is part of what he's going to take into the ring against Canelo.
Ooh. Jim, you're the best. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thank you very much, Shawn.
Wow.
Love you guys. Love talking to you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yes, sir. We'll talk soon.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, so, go.
That's Michael Jordan for what we do in media, so always good. Yeah, so.
Couple things. Number one, you should probably sit where Zatella's sitting because you black. Nobody see you.
I think that's a racist comment.
I'm gonna hold down. No, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay here. I'm holding down for the black people.
You look like you his shadow.
I gotta let them know what side I'm on the Crawford Canelo fight. Okay.
What? Hey. Did you say that? He said, "Hey, baby."
I gotta let them know what side I'm on the Crawford Canelo. Okay.
All right.
What side you on?
What side? What you mean? What side I'm on?
Hey, your kids like my kids.
I'm on the side of.
You gotta make a decision, okay? Okay.
Why you gotta put your kids in this?
Hey, because they half Mexican. Okay, we ain't rocking with them that night.
All of our kids are half Mexican.
Yeah, we ain't rocking with them that night. Okay, make a decision right now. I'm gonna hit you with a check hook.
May the best man win,
So he looking at you like he want to hurt you.
I think he is too.
All right, number 2. Listen, we got Cleveland's own in the studio today. Quiet the whole interview, so you probably didn't even realize they was here. PJ,
you probably should have introduced him to Jim. Like, hey, Jim, this is 15-0.
I know. I was thinking that. I was thinking the same thing.
She meant to do that. I was going to say, Jim, give him some words of encouragement.
Call him back.
I ain't going to do that. Delante Tiger Johnson, 2020 Olympian. One round away from the medal round. Yeah. Now professional, doing your thing, and you got PJ right there by your side. You watched PJ your whole life?
Yeah, I mean, I watched all y'all.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, like, we weren't in the same gym. So you saw me at the fights, you saw me at the tournament. Yeah. You was in the same gym with PJ.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, right now, I used to fight PJ all the time. So our fighters used to fight Southfield fighters all the time.
Right.
So I was around to see all of it.
Got you.
And, that's how I knew about y'all generations.
And then PJ, for those that don't know, Coach PJ Brewer.
I know he looked like a fighter.
Yeah, I had to add that. Coach,
you're a trainer. Yeah.
Had to add that. You've been putting it down recently. Yeah. Getting a lot of looks on ESPN. Delante, obviously. Also, Jared Anderson. Mm-hmm. Any other guys you working with right now?
Assistant coach for Terrell here and there. Well, at first I was assistant coach for Terrell, but now I'm starting to grow, so I'm kind of got my own thing going on. So when time allows, I'm with Terrell. When not, he brings Southfield back in.
Terrell Goshen.
Yeah, Terrell Goshen. Yeah.
Who just had a lot of people thought he won that fight against Elijah Garcia.
Yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I was sorry.
Yeah, I was mad too.
You weren't in the corner for that though, right?
No, I went in the corner.
Yeah, I feel like I heard you yelling the whole fight.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was in the crowd.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I went in for that one. I also helped with Dante Benjamin. I fly out to his fights when time allows too. So
Right.
just a couple.
Right. Y'all coming in to kick it with us, huh?
Yeah.
Why you ain't say nothing to Jim? Why you ain't talk to Jim?
I was waiting for the
Waiting on
perfect
us,
time.
too.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry.
say, hey, Jim.
You did say, hey, Jim.
No, but that wasn't on air.
Oh, you're right.
I wanted to. I was gonna ask. He beat me to it though. I was gonna ask Jim. I was gonna tell Jim Sugar Ray Robinson was my favorite fighter. I was gonna ask him, have you ever did one of his fights? But I didn't know if he was around that long.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I feel
You study Sugar Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray, like he's my number one goat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't study Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I just knew what he was about. That
Yeah.
was enough for me.
Yeah.
I just knew what
got
knew
the
what he
Cliff
was
Notes.
about. I got the Cliff Notes, and them Cliff Notes is enough
Yeah.
for me, you know. But you actually, sit down, study Ray.
Man, I've been watching Sugar Ray Robinson since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Like he always been one of my favorite fighters. He was just a dog. Like, but he was highly skilled in that. Like, I feel like he could have made it in. He was like, what you call those type athletes?
Generational fighter. He could have fought any generation.
In my opinion, I feel like he could, cause he fought at a time where people was cheating. You know, the gloves was all little.
Mm-hmm.
You
Man,
know what I mean?
He was throwing triple hooks back then.
This dude, he was
Yeah.
He was ahead of his time for sure.
he was a dog, man.
The way he cleaned up with the hook.
Yeah.
He would shoot shine the body and then throw a kill you left hook.
It's just sexy.
Yeah, it's just
sexy.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. I agree with Tiger.
He was a dog.
Who's our generational talent right now?
Our generation goat.
Yeah, generational talent right now. Who's our guy right now? Who's the guy?
Me.
Okay.
Outside of you, goddammit.
Yeah, nigga, I don't that.
Everybody gonna say me.
But
Who's the top guy to you in the sport?
Bud.
yeah.
He
We all
said,
agree.
Yeah.
he said Bud.
yeah.
Don't ask me nothing else.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Bud
Okay,
for
yeah.
sure.
What about anyway?
Nah, I'm rocking with Bud.
No, I mean just a lot of people still think he overrated.
Anyway, a dog.
Yeah.
He can fight. I mean, I wouldn't say he's overrated. But
I hear all the time now is who has he fought? I'm like, let's keep it 100. The things you don't know is they're gonna put somebody in front of you. You don't get to pick who you want to fight.
yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna
And
lie.
based on who they put in front of this kid, he does the exact same thing every time.
He get the job done the exact same way. So I can't. You know what I mean? He doing it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Have
I
you been
can't
in the ring with Bud?
When I was younger, yeah.
Like,
I was probably. This was when I was fighting at 141. This was back when we was in Colorado.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He
Yeah,
came to the gym, or you went to his gym.
No, we went to his gym. He pulled up on us at the mall. It was funny, man. We seen him at Foot Locker. It was me, Key, my boy Q, Troy, and we just happened to run into him. So Bud walked up, was like, "What's up with y'all?" Like, you know what I mean? And then this was when he was getting ready for the dude that beat Pacquiao, but Pacquiao really won. Jeff Horn, yeah. This was when he was getting ready for Jeff Horn. And
So you were a teenager.
yeah, I was probably like 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and he was kind of like sizing me up. And I'm like, "What's up, bud?" He was like, "We'll wait you to fight." I'm like, "I'm at 41." He was like, "All right, I'll be sparring you tomorrow." And then he got to talking shit to me and Key and Q. So I'm like, "All right, so we're gonna pull up tomorrow then." So we pulled up and we sparred him. He sparred all of us, like back to back.
You came through the circuit, so you've seen everybody, knew everybody.
Yeah.
But how was that experience sparring with him?
Man, I feel like he set me up. He
Yeah.
tricked me, but I learned a lot though sparring him, man. Like I learned that I didn't know people sparred 4 minute rounds. That was the first time I ever seen something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I sparred him, he hit me with the bait. The pros like don't really do too much. I just really just chilling, moving, and I kind of was I just went all out. And I'm like, man, and I'm looking at the time, it said like 2 minutes left. I'm like, man. So the next round, he came back southpaw, man. He was like he was
We
tripping.
turned southpaw. It was different. Yeah.
He was tripping.
Yeah, but dude's strong. And at that time he was a lot slimmer, and he a strong dude.
Yeah, he ain't who he is.
I think that's the thing that no one's thinking about. He's stronger than what people think.
Yeah. He told me I had a real good jab though.
Okay.
Like,
You do.
Yeah, so I learned a lot in that sparring, man. That was definitely like one of my, having one of my favorite memories.
Tiger, is there so I'm not gonna call you Delante anymore. I'm gonna call you Tiger. So Tiger, is there one was there one moment, because I understand this stuff stays in the gym most of the time, that you can share that lets you know you were in with someone special? One move, one moment that was like, wow, okay, I ain't seen some shit like that before. This guy is
Let me see. I sparred some. I'm trying to think. Bud was one of them.
Well, yeah, I was asking, like, in that session with him, was there like a specific moment that you can't, like, that was different, like it stood out?
So Coach K was in the corner. So K was telling me, he was like, so after the first round, when I came back, K was like, man, like, he was like, relax, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't go all out. Just, try to find your rhythm and timing. You know what I mean? So that next round, he came back southpaw, so it fucked me up a little bit. So I'm like, damn. So now I gotta. I'm looking at K like, man, damn. So the only thing I could do was just really try to use my jab and feints. I was trying to circle him, but he was like deflecting my punches like with nothing. Like he was getting to me like real quick, like with ease. Yeah. And when I tried to like grab him and spin out, man, I couldn't even like move him. Like he just bumped me. So I'm just like, damn. So that like I'm like, damn. So cause I'm used to, in the amateurs, like I get that off. You feel me? In boxing and using my jab, but like I couldn't get that off on him. So I learned like, dang, it's different ways to like be offensive and defensive at the same time. Cause he was coming in but wasn't throwing nothing. He got to me and then he started going to work. But I learned that trick right there. That was some good learning experience.
Yeah, because his counterpunch is crazy. Like that's what always kind of jumped off the screen to me with Crawford. He's probably the best counterpuncher in the sport.
Yeah. I learned a lot for sure.
Yeah.
Your last fight you had Castaneda, right out here, 5th round TKO. Mm-hmm. What's next?
June 7th, man. Norfolk, Virginia, and it's on Keyshawn's undercard, so be back to it.
You moved up to 147.
Yeah.
Well, how tall are you? You're 5'11".
5'11", yeah.
Tall as shit.
He taller than you?
Huh?
I thought you was gonna call him short.
Nah,
he's taller than you. Okay.
Nah, especially I thought like that. Don't worry about Mr. Two T's back there.
Have you ever fought somebody shorter than you? No, I ain't even trying to be funny though. Like damn, like hell no. I was gonna say damn, like
in my lifetime, maybe twice.
Ain't no way.
Maybe
in the pros?
Maybe
in the pros or
no? Definitely not. No, definitely not in the pros.
He sparred.
I've been watching you for a very long, Shawn. You've never been in nobody shorter than you, bro. Ain't no way. I never had to see you had to try to like move and box and stay away from a good.
Hey, using his own jab. Right. Yeah, come on, Shawn. You ain't on the jab.
He been in there. He been trying to get in the trenches since day one, bro.
Yeah, man.
That's fine.
Put the
So
jab on.
you back in June or July?
June 7th.
June 7th.
Yeah.
Okay, so not too long.
Yeah.
Not too long. ESPN Plus app.
Yeah.
They bumped you up to the ESPN or you on the Plus?
No, not yet. But this will be my first 10-rounder. My first 10-rounder.
Oh, first 10-rounder.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah. So
First 10-rounder.
I'm excited for that.
Got an opponent yet?
Yeah. We found an opponent. We getting ready.
Mm-hmm. What we looking at? You got a guy shorter than you. You gotta use the jab. What we looking at?
No, I think me and him like the same height. Same height for sure. He might be like an inch shorter, but we the same size for real.
PJ, what you working on with the kid?
Just being more disciplined with his hands, because sometimes he reached out too much. Just his last performance, he showed that a lot of the things we've been working on stick. So now it's more focusing on just like the small things to make a big difference. Mm-hmm. When you're inside, squatting, bending his knees down, because that's as taller fighters. When shorter fighters get under us, they're going to knock us off balance every time. So teaching them how to get low as a tall fighter, how to shorten them punches up in the inside, keep his hands disciplined, bring that left hand back up after he jab. Just all the small things to make a big difference.
PJ, man, plenty of national tournaments. you and I, we both been at them, won them all. You know,
Yep.
You turned pro, and then pretty much just kind of seamlessly transitioned into being an assistant coach, and now head coaching for the most part for yourself. Was this kind of your plan all along?
I always knew I was gonna be a coach someday. Cause even when I was younger, like even when I used to spar like Julius or Terrell, Goucher, when he came in the box for us, even after we get done sparring, I wasn't the type that get off on you or do something and then just go hit it back and go out about my day. I always used to assume when sparring over, we about to chop it. I'm about to tell you ways to help you, ways to help you grow. So I always knew I was gonna be a teacher. I just started to come when I'm about 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But one day when I was in California, I was living in California. I got a call from Darrelle. He was like, I've been fighting a lot of southpaws. I got Demonte Clark coming up, another one. I've been having a hard time with southpaws. You was always good at fighting lefties growing up. Can you come be a part of my camp?
Wow.
And, shout out to Darrelle, man. He gave me a first opportunity.
Yeah.
I went in there. Manny Robles, me Casa Su Casa, anything you need, let me know. Do y'all thing. I'll take my hat off. Yeah, for sure. So he let me do my thing. We got to stop it in the second round. And everybody was telling me, like, man, when you go back, watch the fight. I'm like, dude, I was there. It was 2 rounds. I need to watch it. They was like, just watch it and listen. So when I went back and watched it, and I heard Amara say, we see a more creative and explosive Goucher. So when I heard that, then I knew, like, okay.
Your fingerprint was on.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So I know what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And then I just went from there. And then I went, Safo called me to go to Tiger for the last chance qualifier. So I went out there because he couldn't make it. Got with Tiger. He ended up winning the whole thing. And Tiger felt the chemistry. So when we was out there, he was like, yo, can you move back to Cleveland when I'm done with the Olympics? So I'm like, man, I think about it. And then my mother starting to get older, and then Tiger was turning pro, so it just made sense to go back in. And then everything is history from there. And then now, you know, I guess the world get to hear me.
Yes,
you know?
sir. Yes, sir.
They get to hear me in the corner, and I'm just happy and blessed that I get the chance to, because the way I feel is boxing is perspective. You know, every single person look and see boxing in some type of different way. Perspectives can be similar, the way they vision and see boxing, but at some point, you're going to have a different thought process about whether it's the way you throw a jab, the way you block a punch, something is going to be different. So I'm just happy and blessed that the world is really embracing the way I explain my perspective on the science when I'm working that corner.
Man, I feel the same way as a broadcaster. Like, I know my perspective, and I know what I feel I know, and I know, but it always feels good when people are telling me, like, you know, you're saying this or you're saying that, or, you know, this or that. And I'm like, it just kind of furthers me, lets me know that, you know, hey, I'm on the right track.
Confirmation.
You know? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
confirmation.
PJ, I've seen you like around even just the Top Rank gym for at least a decade now. So I feel like you've been a part, maybe not officially as a second in the corner, but you've been a part of a lot of fighters' camps. And
I always, you know, been around, help people get game when I can. Even when I really wasn't competing, layoffs, I really wasn't fighting, had no big promoter, but I just always been around the sport, you know. Just always been around the sport. Even when I wasn't competing, I'm still watching, I'm still learning. You know, I fell in love with boxing when I was 12 years old, so like I couldn't see myself doing nothing else. So that's why I'm just always teaching, always trying to be in the gym, you know.
Yeah, Tiger, always liked Tiger's talent, like long arms, hand speed, showing the power again. Because there was some fights at 40. I was wondering if you were cutting too much weight. You know, Shawn would talk about losing power. The last 10 pounds, he'd have to get down to 47. Some of those performances at 40 were starting to feel average by your talent, what you're capable of. And then the Castaneda fight, it was like, that's the guy that I think, you know, we've been wanting to see. Do you just feel like coming in at 47 now it's time to take off. Now it's time to make a real run and transition from prospect to contender and show people you're one of the best young fighters coming up?
No, for sure. I think it was just time for me to just go to 47. I feel like going down to 40 was, you know, was still was good for me. You know, I was able to get my feet wet, learn, you know, capitalize on a lot of mistakes. It had its time. You know what I mean? And 47 is like, that's the weight for me. You feel me? And I feel like I'm 2.0 right now. So y'all gonna see a whole different version of me at this weight.
You are making me feel old, though. I think Allen Iverson was like 2 years old when he was in the finals with that jersey. But that's the authentic too, isn't it? That's not the swingman Mitchell and Ness.
Yeah, this Mitchell and Ness.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was
anyway.
Yeah.
01.
Anyway.
Well, last week, we had 4 fighters at 147. Any of those guys you got your eye on?
Man, the way that looked, I'll fight any one of them. But the way that looked,
4-0.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure.
Damn.
Hey.
But I ain't gonna. You know what's crazy though? You know what's crazy? Rolly fight, like him winning, it didn't surprise me. I still thought Ryan was gonna win.
Yeah.
But it didn't surprise me the performance that Rolly had, because I know Rolly awkward, he's strong. And I was saying that in the interview, I was like, I literally tweeted right before they got in there, while they was walking to the ring, I tweeted, I'm like, I think it's gonna be a good fight. I wouldn't count Rolly out. And as soon as I said that, he caught Ryan in the second round.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dang. But I think I ain't gonna lie, it was
just a night.
Yeah, that was a
just
wild
a
night right there.
Night we trying to move past. So let's just move past it. Let's talk about Saturday night. We had some stuff go down. Pro Box, was that Friday night though, right?
Same
Saturday.
night.
Oh, Saturday
A little earlier.
Yeah.
Huh?
I think it was a little earlier, right? Lubin fought a little earlier.
Yeah. Shout out to Lubin.
Yeah.
Holmes, take us through it.
What he got?
Ant, take us through it, Ant.
Well, he got the mandatory now for the WBO.
IBF. Bakram Murtazali.
Okay. Eliminator. Slow start. Holmes, 6'3"? Kept him on the jab. Shawn never did. Kept him on the jab all night until Lubin broke him down and got his in late and got him out of there. Definitely a slow fight. I thought Lubin was really going to take it really early. I think, is it just me or we all want more from Lubin?
I want more from Lubin.
Okay.
I want more from
I feel like Lubin should just be a killer up in there. Just go up in there, easy work, get him out of that. That guy's not on this.
How tall is the dude he fought?
Oh, here we go.
Adreal Holmes?
Yeah.
He's at least 6'1". He might be as
At
tall
least,
as 6'3".
right?
Yeah, he's tall.
Lubin was trying to get me out there to spar with him. Nah, he was trying to beat me up. So I ain't going to say nothing, because apparently I probably said something he ain't like. So I'm going to just be quiet.
You never know.
You're questioning his motives? Why would he want to bring in fire? Okay.
Yeah, what the hell?
He needs a look.
What?
Yeah,
What look?
Well, 6'2". 6'2".
6'2".
Lubin, you not ready
thought
for
he was a
me.
little taller.
Damn it. You not ready.
All right. Get him up there with Tiger. Get him up there with Tiger.
Huh?
Tiger, get on his ass. Get on his ass. He in his shape. Get on his ass.
You come out Saturday night.
He in his shape.
We got something going on Saturday afternoon.
He in his shape.
Check with Coach and see if it's okay.
I ain't ducking no rack, but
See if it's okay with Coach. If it's okay with Coach.
hey, we pull up.
You got the bar, right?
Yeah,
Bring that
yeah,
bar. You
yeah.
got two of them or just the one bar?
Man, don't y'all hurt my boy, man. Come on, man. I got a towel. I got a towel to throw in.
I got the winning egg.
All right.
I got a towel. Hey, I got you back, Shawn. They ain't gonna stop you up in there, baby.
Najee Lopez, he did his thing again this weekend.
Najee did his
Go
thing,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead, Zatel.
I want to give Lubin credit.
Yeah.
I do think he's an underdog to Murtazaliev, but nobody's calling out Murtazaliev.
Sure.
So credit to him for wanting that fight.
Yeah.
And credit to him, too, for making a little adjustment. Lubin, usually a guy that outboxes you, uses his feet in the center of the ring. He had to be the aggressor against a taller guy with a good jab, and he did what he had to do to not only win, but get him out of there.
Yeah.
So, credit to Lubin. Najee Lopez, he reminds me of a little bit, and he reminds me a little bit of an American Anthony Yard, a little bit. But I think
Beyond the look, though, he does. Yeah,
I think he could be better than.
it.
I'm not putting the limitation like he can't.
Sure.
Because Anthony Yard's a good light heavyweight. He may not have won a title, but he's a good fighter. So it's not a diss to compare him to a top 10 light heavyweight.
Right, of course.
But he might be a little more fluid.
Yeah.
A little, he's muscle bound like Yard is, but a little more fluid. But I really think the dude on the card that has the brightest future was Darrelle Valsaint. I think he may be the goods at welterweight. Maybe him and Tiger gonna fight for a title one day. Have you guys seen Valsaint, and what do you guys think of him? Darrelle Valsaint. You haven't watched him too much?
Yeah, I ain't get a chance to really
Y'all
watch
better start watching.
He's 13-0, 11 KO, same weight class. I think both of you got one day for some good money and maybe for a belt. That would be a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about it one day. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Me and me and Najee, we got boxer. We both got we won the qualifiers together. We both got I think I had got fighter of the tournament. I think he had got knockout of the tournament or something like that. He had got something, I forgot, but yeah, we won the qualifiers together.
What do you think? He can, light heavyweight's a tough division, but do you think, he could make a run at fighting the top dogs at light heavyweight, Najee?
He a dog, man. I mean, we came up in the same era, so I've knew about Najee. Najee a dog, so I think he could do it. I think he can compete up there.
He's got some good fluidity for a big guy.
Yeah. I think because of his experience, he got everything he need to fight at the next level. I think that he has to just kind of ride that road, follow that road, ride that wave of building himself as a professional athlete. But for me, I think he's definitely has everything that it takes to be well regarded probably in the next 2 years, definitely the next year. Definitely next year, maybe 2 tops. But the size, the experience, speed, he's got off-rhythm shots, all that kind of stuff. So I like Najee.
Yeah, these Pro Box guys are legit.
Yeah.
They're
shout out to Pro Box TV.
Yeah.
ESPN.
Yeah. Shout out to Navarrete. What's some other guy name?
Charly Suarez. Although his name's Emanuel Suarez. He should ride the Manny Filipino wave and just be Manny Suarez. Anyway, go ahead.
Fight of the month, man. That was action-packed all the way until it wasn't. But I think they were just going at it. Navarrete, you get up in there with somebody that got better feet. I can't say what I want to say. Y'all know what I mean. Shawn know what I mean. Man, them swinging wild and overextending like that. It's gonna be a short night for you. But
by better feet, what do you mean?
Do you mean a fighter
like
away with it?
Yeah,
he been getting away with it.
Bring that over here. That's all I can say. Bring that over here.
Bring it over here.
I can't say what I want to say. Navarrete, definitely an action fighter. He gonna entertain, and that's what we wanted last week. He gave us everything. Shout out to my man. He showed up ready to fight. Mm-hmm. No fear. Was getting hit with big shots. Buzz, did he go down, Shawn?
No, nobody went down.
Okay.
He got hurt a couple times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that punch, though.
That punch, headbutt.
That
punch, headbutt. That
left hand.
Man, he got it up in there, bro. Rematch? What do you do? Give my man a rematch?
You let it go.
It's not a rematch clause?
No rematch clause, and Navarrete was
Ask Shawn how rematch clauses go.
After the fight.
Yeah, how does that go?
I don't know.
Go explain to him, Shawn.
Shit don't make sense.
People always hit me. Now you got me in an argument with people. Why you rematch Spence then? It's not like that, man. So you lose your belt.
A fight like this was this for a title?
The WBO 130-pound.
Because he went back down.
It was vacant though, right?
No. Navarrete reigning champ.
Oh,
because he went to 135, right? He came back.
Remember, he lost to Barancek.
So it would more than likely only be a rematch clause if he lost.
If he wanted it,
if he lost, that would be.
I think it's gonna happen though.
Yeah, you think the rematch?
I do. I think it wasn't a good look for the promoter, Top Rank. It wasn't a good look for the commission. It wasn't a good look for Navarrete. So and Top Rank doesn't seem to want to make a unification. They've had Navarrete and Foster in the same division for a while. Maybe they don't see a lot
I've been waiting on.
Yeah, maybe they don't see money in the fight.
Nah, they see what I see.
Maybe they don't see money in the fight. Oh, that Foster wins. Yeah, well, Navarrete's ripe for the picking. He's been one of, like to Ant's point, he's been one of the action stars the last half decade. He's always in a good fight. He's slowing down though. I think a couple years ago his ranginess was underrated. He's so awkward. The chin looks all exposed. It's waving in the air. But the head gets off the line and he's hitting you with an uppercut from a range you don't think you could get hit with an uppercut at. He used to put dudes in the blender, like Valdez in the first fight. He had this awkward movement, step around, entice you to throw. Then you walk into the trap and are getting hit with all kinds of crazy heavy shots. But after the Valdez rematch, he said last December, I only got a couple more fights in me. And I feel like a lot of people overlooked that he said that. And you got to understand, for a guy like him with his style, one fight for him is like 4 or 5 fights for other fighters because he can't stay out of a war. That's what he does. Like Maidana, that's why Maidana retired earlier in his 30s after the 2 Floyd fights. It's like I can't keep putting my face through the meat grinder. Like it's not Jim. When we had Jim on earlier, he said Floyd's a guy if he feels like it. slow the fight down, make it easy, and get out of there without taking punishment. Guys like Navarrete don't have that option. That they do best taking you to war. So I just think he's not taking punches quite the same way he was. He's not turning guys quite the same way he was. He's an absolute dog because he lets his balls hang till there's nothing left to do. But he should have lost this fight.
Yeah.
He was fortunate. It was like the boxing god said, You leave so much of yourself in that ring. We're gonna give you a pass tonight, but give Suarez a rematch.
You never do that for me.
I know. They're gonna do that for a lot of guys. But trying to cut him some slack. But yeah.
And then Muratalla, he won.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name he fought?
Zaur Abdullaev. Only loss was to Devin 6 years ago. To Devin Haney. Muratalla beat him to the punch.
This fight, this belt was vacant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the vacant belt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the interim.
Yeah.
And if it's up to Lomachenko. If Lomachenko comes back, he could get his belt back and fight Muratalla, or if he retires, Muratalla is the champ. I would think Loma would retire. If walking away from a career high payday and a unification with Tank wasn't enough to make him want to get back in that ring, does Raymond Muratalla?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. He's maybe it does, but I would think if Tank and a career high payday wasn't enough to make Loma want to return to the ring, why would he want to return to fight for a belt he's already had?
Right.
So I don't know. Muratalla though, he beat Abdullaev to the punch. Muratalla, he's in business. He got himself his first world title. He clearly won the fight. He boxed well, but I just don't think that's going to be enough to beat the other guys at 35 because those other guys are going to beat you to the punch, and you'll have to be the guy takes a little bit more chances, tries to force the fight in the pocket a little bit, punch when they're punching. And right now he's more comfortable being the quicker guy, outboxing the other fighter. And, yeah.
Because I've seen him fight like that before where he's been assertive and wanted to, take the fight to you and stuff like that, but it seems like it's been like this switch. I don't like it. I don't like it because he's been fun to watch. Even, he's a fun guy to watch, but he's fun when he's on his front foot. You know what I mean? He's fun when he's making the fight.
Just watch what he did to Nakatia, Jeremiah Nakatia. That's the Raymond Muratalla we need if he's gonna fight Keyshawn and Shakur and these guys. Right. So, Tiger, what'd you think, by the way, of Muratalla's fight?
Oh, I thought he did good.
Yeah.
I thought he boxed him real good. It was a good fight for sure.
Yeah. What do you think of him against the other guys in the weight class?
Keyshawn Davis,
like Keyshawn, Shakur, Tank.
I feel like styles make fights, and I don't think, guys like Keyshawn and Shakur, like they real good at knowing their range. They good at countering. They know they real slippery and slick. So I think they'll give him problems for sure.
What do you think, PJ? Did you see the fight?
Yeah, I seen that. I feel like he just did what he had to do to win. He just barked a smart fight, was accurate, timing was good, but
He's a good fighter.
He can't just chill back and think he about to outbox Keyshawn or anybody else in the division.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not going. He got to go to work.
I feel like he had to do what you were saying, like get back on that front foot.
Yeah, be aggressive, take chances, turn it into a fight.
Can't outbox a boxer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah, you're gonna have to switch something up.
You sparred with Keyshawn?
Yeah, the other day. Last week.
Oh, okay.
Last week. Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was good. We did 4 rounds, 4 minutes, and then I did my other.
What makes Keyshawn special?
He's smart. He know his range. And he real good on defense. You know what I mean? He's real good at countering. You know what I mean? He could fight. Mm-hmm. And we've been sparring partners, man, since we was young.
I figured that.
From our whole Olympic run, we've been sparring partners.
Yeah. What about you, PJ? What you think makes Keyshawn so special?
He got a really, really, really high IQ.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he really know his way around the ring. You know what I'm saying?
Define IQ. Define boxing ring IQ.
So for me, it's just knowing your way around the ring, knowing your range, know how to be what you need to be when it's time to be it. Mm-hmm. Having your technicalities together. It's just it's a lot of things that go into it. Just knowing the game of boxing for me is IQ.
Yeah.
You know, it's more than just knowing how to jab, knowing how to fight.
Yeah.
You got to know how to find the biggest places in the ring. You know, that's one thing with Tiger. This is when I knew Tiger was in his bag to let's fight. I told him at the end of the first round, because you know before, as y'all watch boxing, y'all been watching him. He had a bad habit of sitting in front, staring contest, and then start inching straight back. You know, but at the end of the first round, He caught it. I told him like, just don't stand. He caught himself staring for a second. He stopped staring, took him on the walk. Stopped where he stopped. Didn't like where he stopped at in the ring. Took him on another walk. Positioned himself in a better, safer place in the ring, and then got to work. You know what I'm saying? That's IQ. That let me know, and that's when I knew. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a different Tiger tonight, because when you're on point with the small things, that means you locked in.
IQ, you could think.
Yes.
Not just think, but you can think the right things.
Yes.
And then capitalize on what you thought you was thinking. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
Yeah, it's a whole lot that go into it.
Like
but
chess, you got to think 2-3 moves ahead.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You can't just be like a lot of fighters, you know, a lot of fighters react to what's going on at the exact moment.
Yeah.
But you gotta plan 2-3 moves ahead. You gotta know how to look into the future. You gotta know how to create the future.
Yeah.
You know.
How much of a blessing is
creativity? That's what I'm talking about.
Creativity, create the future.
You guys, you're always practicing with it's LeBron and Kobe. You're always practicing. Does it make it easier work for opponents when your sparring partner is harder than the opponent?
Wait, say it again.
Like your sparring partners.
Dumbass question.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's not. Hey, don't take shots like him. All right. When your sparring partners are better than your opponents, how easier does it make the fight?
Oh, make it real easy. Especially
Couldn't say it like that the first damn time.
no, it's real easy. You know what I mean? Especially like if they got like okay, let's say like my opponent is like real strong.
Yeah.
And he throws a lot of body shots, and you know somebody like my boy Troy, he would be better. He would be better at that than my opponent, and that would help me prepare for my fight. You know what I mean? So that's for sure. Like I feel like having sparring partners that's better than your opponent is always a clutch situation.
Yeah, you guys got a hell of a camp. You anything you need, y'all can just call each other. That's crazy.
You get any look you want.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. So
let's get to it real quick before we get out of here. Pat coming back.
Man, is he?
Coming back.
Yeah, Shawn.
Mario Barrios.
PJ, we got Shawn Porter in a couple of years. Shawn Porter versus PJ, 147.
I can't go through a camp.
All right, Tiger.
Do I ask the question, why is Pat coming back?
It's a good question.
Since 20.
Do I
man,
ask?
I ain't gonna lie. I think he just like fighting, man.
That's what I think.
I don't
How
know,
old is he?
man. I think he just like fighting, man.
46.
46.
Right? Yeah.
And don't get me,
48.
No, he's 46.
don't get me wrong. You know, I think he liked fighting. He loved to fight, but he also give a lot of money back to his country, man. So you know, you gotta keep making if you want to keep giving, right?
Right.
Get out Pat's pockets.
I also
I'm
think
just saying, he give a lot of money to the country. He doing a good thing, though.
I thought he was a little older than that.
Look, he 5'5.5". I'll spar somebody shorter than me.
And Mario Barrios is 6 foot.
Yeah.
Give it then.
Look, he size everybody up.
Yeah.
I'm at 147. Size everybody up.
Yeah, he tall.
no,
He
that's
got some height on him.
Hey, go ahead. What do you think about that fight? You know, it's future opponents for you. Win, lose, or draw. You taking one of them.
This fight?
He said,
I can't really
What?
see.
That's at 147, ain't it?
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. Pacquiao a legend. I got a lot of love for him. I just can't see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Age undefeated.
it's probably
All the time. Can't beat that.
It's probably I hope it just it be a good fight and
UD.
You know what I mean? But I seen a clip of one of his last fights he had. I think he was overseas. I think that didn't look good.
Had the diabetes socks on.
Yeah, I'm like, man. I hope
That's
I hope he have a safe fight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
for sure.
He hasn't fought in 5 years. 4 or 5 years. My man had 5 fights in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, man. Barrios too damn big for Pacquiao.
And that man coming in the ring big.
Yeah. I thought Barrios was getting his rematch with
Now, this is probably a better payday.
Yeah,
You know, you're going to get there when you're going to make the business moves.
No, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, now it's Mario Barrios eat a WBC.
Oh,
Yeah, they had the glamour belt, the green belt.
Yeah. And so this is a title fight. My man skipped all the lines and go straight to the top. Manny Pacquiao. This getting bad for Manny.
What you think, Zatel?
This getting bad for Manny.
I hope not, though.
I know. I know.
I mean, but, you know.
I mean, everybody's human. Like nobody's a god. And even the great Manny Pacquiao, who's made me wrong more than any other fighter in my lifetime. I grew up loving the fighters he would run through. Morales, Pereira, Marquez, Cotto, De La Hoya. I remember when he was going up to fight De La Hoya and Cotto, I'm like, he's too little. Like, I don't. They make weight classes for a reason. Okay. Oscar was shot. Cotto's gonna. Damn, well, he did that to Cotto. He did that, yeah, you know, and so and then Thurman, I thought Thurman would beat him. I didn't think.
You thought he was going to beat Floyd.
No, I didn't. No,
okay. All right.
You thought Keith Thurman was going to be Floyd?
No, I thought Thurman was going to be Pacquiao.
I was just messing with him. I'm saying
fought.
he thought Manny Pacquiao was going to be Floyd.
No, I didn't. The Marquez fights let me know what was going to happen in the Floyd fight.
Okay.
Because, if you can't deal with this counter punching and Floyd's bigger and younger and faster, and then, I know what's going to happen now. But, my first reaction to this fight was it reminds me of Ray Leonard coming back against Hector Camacho for that last comeback Ray had, where it's just like Ray can't beat anybody anymore. He's old. He's done. You know, it doesn't matter who if you put him in there with a live. Camacho was shot too, but he had more left than Ray Leonard did. So it kind of reminds me of that. And then also, you know, with Turkey and Riyadh season trying to take over the game. This kind of and PBC, they, you know, Top Rank doesn't even put on pay-per-views anymore. So I'm not picking on PBC. They put on Benavidez Morel, one of my favorite fights of the year. But this, just like when they tried to get Jake Paul to fight Canelo, this reeks of intellectual and creative bankruptcy. Like you don't. This is just going to be a fun event that makes money, but it does nothing really for the sport in the long term. It's a short term play to make money. It will make money.
It's just a fight.
It's just the fight. It's like a concert. You know, all right, it'll be cool. Get to see Pacquiao. And I can't count Manny Pacquiao out because he's Manny Pacquiao. But I think as long as Barrios doesn't freeze up under the moment, you know, as long as Barrios just is Barrios and doesn't overly respect Pacquiao, he's not in awe of Pacquiao, he just treats him like a 46-year-old man. Lets his punches go.
That sounds crazy.
I know. Right. But because that's why I got to bring it up. Because you could always look across. Oh my God, that's Manny Pacquiao, and I'm on this pay-per-view, and I'm like, you know, you could
like a 46-year-old.
But on that, am I wrong, Tiger and PJ? Or on that night, he's not Manny Pacquiao. He's this old man, and as Deontay Wilder said about Luis Ortiz, you got to beat his old ass.
Yeah.
And punch him in the face and remind him that this game has passed you by. But Pacquiao's Pacquiao. He could pull off anything. I just don't like George Foreman at 45. He's at heavyweight where you can fight at an older age than you can in the lower weights.
Right.
And he's got one punch eraser. He's not an accumulation KO artist like Manny.
Right.
Bernard was the master of all masters, the kung fu master of boxing, knew every trick and created some. Manny at his best, and this is why I was surprised he could beat Thurman at 40. He relies on twitches and athleticism and a lot of stuff Shawn did. And Shawn's like, I can't do that, and I'm not even 40 yet.
Stuff that decreases. Don't tell my business.
I'm sorry, you know.
The stuff that decreases, yeah.
So, but what do you think, Shawn? You the one who sparred a million rounds with him.
It's so hard because he is Manny Pacquiao, right? And so it's kind of is what it is. He's either going to come to the ring and be able to be fast enough to get off the shit that he used to get off on. And if he does, he clocks him and he knocks him out. What I know, without going into really deep detail, that left hand against that right hand, his left hand always gets there quicker than the other guy's right hand. Not only that, Azteca is a forward fighter moving into that left hand. You know what I mean? So this is kind of a match made in heaven for Pac.
9 years ago, this would have been Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas.
Yeah.
You know, that we know Manny years ago. If you want to see what this fight would have looked like,
well, this has to be. This is the same fight, right?
It is, but except now it's 2025.
Yeah.
Question: what shot you hit Manny with when you dropped him? What shot?
I didn't drop Manny.
Oh,
Don't be starting rumors.
Hey, he dropped it.
Ask the inverse.
No, me and Manny, we had some wars. We had some good sparring sessions.
That's some good work, man.
We had some really good sparring sessions. Yeah. And but I had the X factor. I was just as quick as him, just as fast as him. And after the difference with a sparring session and the fight, you get to learn this guy. You get to see that rhythm. That was why I felt like Manny was gonna beat Keith. I felt like on the night of, you've never seen that rhythm, that speed, that tempo.
You called it too. I remember that. You did.
It's just a lot to deal with on fight night, and you got to remain poised through it. You know.
Can he still do it now? That's the biggest.
But can he still do it now?
Yeah.
Can he still do it now?
At 46,
That left hand looking like at 46.
Yeah. The
Hey,
last thing goes to
Tiger,
power.
how old are you?
26.
Oh yeah, he looking at 46, like 70.
The last thing that goes to power. You know what I mean?
What about the speed?
That timing. I think before we even talk about the speed, we gotta talk about the timing. Cause we gonna spar on Saturday. Like I know, like I'm gonna be looking at you like,
Oh, this a real
I'm ready
thing?
to eat.
This a real
I'm
thing?
ready to do, but it just ain't going. You know what I mean? That timing is different when you ain't been working. You know what I mean? I ain't been working, so you know.
He been working. He trying to get me.
But,
He trying to rock my boy.
I ain't hearing
but
that.
I think that's the thing with this fight. I think for Manny is just his timing. More than likely, it's gonna be off. If his time is off, it's gonna be a.
And how he gonna be able to? Barrios is 6 feet,
Yeah.
and his arms is long. So
Yeah.
how he gonna be able to?
That's
Because
nothing
Barrios
new
don't
for
fight.
Manny, though.
Barrios
That's
don't
nothing
fight
new.
short though.
Yeah,
He fight. He kind of
Yeah.
you're right. He
long a
does.
little bit.
Yeah, you're right. he
So
does.
how would that? You know what I mean? Because Pacquiao gonna have to.
He ain't gonna have to look, but he not gonna have to look for Barrios. You know what I mean? Be different if you're a tall guy that's staying out here. You know what I mean? He's tall, but he likes to work his way in. You know what I mean?
He didn't work his way in when he was boxing, boxing Tank.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
He-
it ain't like he one of those fighters where
he
every
can
single-
get on them toes.
He
You
young,
know what I'm
though.
saying?
Yeah.
It ain't like we watching that fighter where every
'Cause
single
him and
we
Tank
never
was a
seen
good
him
ass fight.
adjust. Because he was boxing the shit out of Tank.
That was a good fight.
Yeah.
Tank. You know what I'm saying?
That was a good fight.
He ain't. You think he about to go in there? I'm about to just bang with him. I think he gonna pick his spots.
Yeah.
Why would we play to his strength?
I think he gonna use his reach, and I think his jab gonna be his main weapon for Pacquiao.
You want the loser or the winner?
I don't give a damn.
Okay. I'm just trying to get you in a big fight.
Say,
I'm just trying to cash you out, baby.
We'll take it.
Hey, real quick, we got Fundora and Tim Tszyu getting back in the ring.
That's the co-main to this.
Yeah, co-main.
Oh, that is the co-main.
Yeah.
Press conference next week. I'm going out there for that.
LA.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Why they do Keith like that, man?
I know, right?
Yeah, that's
I felt bad, man. That was Keith supposed to get the shot at Tim.
Yeah. At this point, question for you, Zatel. At this point, if you keep, do you take step aside money or do you go in there and do what you got to do?
Well, it doesn't sound like he has a choice now. It doesn't. That's out of his.
You don't
that's
think
the
step aside
matchmaker.
money came here?
I don't know. I don't think he was the mandatory for anybody. I think it was just the fight that
Was
he
it a
thought he
They
was going
announced
to get.
it. They announced it over there that
Right.
the contract was signed. So they did over there in Australia. They announced that the
I don't
contract
think
was signed.
Jake Paul announced his contract with Simon Canelo. I don't think he's getting any step aside money.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's just-
How much you taking
Yeah,
step
he's-
aside, Sean?
Man, that's I'll come back for some step aside.
Tiger, how much you taking step aside?
Keith was supposed to fight
Keith
Tszyu,
Thurman.
right?
Oh,
Keith was supposed to fight Tszyu, right?
Tim Tszyu,
Yeah, Tim Tszyu, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So you don't think he got step aside money?
you'll
huh?
take a million.
think so.
That's
Take a million and let it go get off.
think
You take a million.
Yeah, but Keith was gonna get more than $1 million to fight Tszyu.
he got it. Don't worry, we'll take care of you, buddy. We'll
Oh,
get something lined up for you.
Yeah,
That's what he got.
Damn,
that's
Maybe.
Because if what happens if Tszyu lose? Then now it's just Fundora.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why they giving him step aside. You gonna get paid to chill and hope he win.
Mm-hmm.
That dude kind of sucked.
Yeah.
You think this one go the same way?
Yeah.
I got Fundora.
You got Fundora.
I got Fundora.
He might stop him.
I got Fundora.
I wanted to see the Zayas fight.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I did, and I thought Fundora.
man.
I favored Fundora in that fight. I thought,
Experience.
yeah, a little bit of Cotto Margarito. You know where.
That would have been a good fight.
Yeah. I mean, Zayas could have done it. Zayas has that it factor. He's next from Puerto Rico. He's got a little bit of the aura, the kids say, but aura doesn't win fights.
Ain't too much energy for Fundora.
Of this rematch?
No, for Fundora.
Yeah, no, Fundora's got his own unique 6'6" aura too. But Fundora, I think, is a better fighter since he lost to Mendoza. I think he's ironed out a few things in his game, and I think Tszyu is still just coming off a win against Spencer. It's not like he's really firing on all cylinders again. He had a comeback win.
And he got clipped.
Fundora, yeah.
No.
Tim Tszyu still box like this, looking through his hands like this.
Yeah.
He has some pulls, right? He'll do some
Terrible feet.
But why he fight like this? He don't even try, like.
Ask Shawn. Shawn's Ozzy.
Ask me what?
You Ozzy. Ask Shawn.
Who?
You Ozzy. You be in Australia all the time.
We good here.
No, I'm just. I want
everything
to.
off
Why
your heart,
you fight
chest.
like? Why you fight like that? PJ just asked you something. Why you fight like that?
He asked me that.
Why you fight like that?
Who?
Tim, why you fight like that?
I don't know why he looked through his gloves like that.
He does some pulls.
What
though.
should he do?
Huh?
What should he do? Close him?
Listen, man, out of that 20. Listen. Out of that 2020 team, you probably the only one we haven't had on the show since you guys turned pro and everything. So this was
He been on the
He
show.
been on the show.
you. Nah.
Yes, he has.
Not since the fight. No, I mean not since it's 2020.
I did.
Yes, he has.
At the casino.
Yeah.
At the casino.
Did
And
that
I think you've been
count,
on
though?
again for Zoom or something.
No, I never did any more Zoom.
Oh, just
No, I don't think
They
I don't
ain't
think
really
it is
count
on.
though. Like that wasn't a show.
Oh yeah. This
Yeah,
the
that
first time
wasn't
we
a
came.
show.
Yeah, this is the first
Yeah,
time we came here. Yeah.
First time we kicked it on the couch.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was. Hey, that's crazy. I'll never forget that run, man.
What's that?
My Olympic run.
Yeah.
That changed my whole life right there.
Talk to us about it a little bit before we get out of here. Talk to us.
Oh,
you said you will never forget that, man. Like
No, I mean, man, 2016, man, was a rough year for me, man. Like, I lost to Ryan Garcia at at Youth Nationals. I'm calling PJ, like, man, I don't know what to do, man. Like, it's like, I want to quit boxing. Like, life was bad. You feel me? I was supposed to graduate that year. So what happened was, 2015, I was getting ready. Yeah, I was getting ready for Youth Nationals, which was held that January of 2016. So I put like my all, like I trained hard. I put my all into that tournament, saved up all the money I could get. And shout out to my boys too, from Columbus, Ronell Johnson, man, and his pops. Manny, they let me come with them to Reno.
How you raised the money for the tournament?
I can't even remember how I raised the money for it. I think I was just saving whatever was coming to me that year. But I know as a little kid, I used to sell candies and cookies for boxing, to raise money for boxing, to go to tournaments.
candies and cookies.
Yeah. I was the cookie boy for a long time. But during that time, I think I was just doing jobs like, just going places like cutting grass, just doing stuff like that, just to get the money. And then my parents did the best they could to get me out there. And the crazy part is, I don't ever think, cause it's really expensive, man. Like, the plane tickets and the tournament, cause we stayed at the venue, so I had to come up with a lot of money that Ronell's dad was asking for. So I think he still like let me slide. Like I ain't even have all the money for it. I just had enough. Yeah. I had enough to like, okay, you know what I'm saying, just pay me back. You know what I mean? So we ended up just paying them back after the tournament. But so that was like now or nothing. And then at that time, I was already dropped out of school. So I'm like, man, I gotta go to this nationals, man, make the team. Like just start the year off good. Yeah. I go out there, man, I'm on fire, man. I go to the semis, lose to Ryan. Man, I was like, it felt like I died or something. You feel me? Like I ain't even want to go home. Like I was sick. Yeah. So Ryan ended up winning. Later that year, I quit boxing. Like after that, I quit. I was like, man, I came home. I didn't win. My mom was like, all right, man, we about to try to get you back in school. So I'm all over the place. So right around March or April, the Cleveland Golden Gloves came around. So Safo been calling me. He was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know you don't want to box, but try to come back to fight Golden Gloves. So I'm just like, all right, bet, I'll come back. Won Golden Gloves, right? Yeah. They didn't take us to nationals because they ain't had the money. Oh, so I'm like, yo. So I ended up quitting again. Like I was heated. I was pissed. Yeah. So I quit again. I was like, man, this shit ain't right. So right around June, they added youth and Junior Olympics together. So Safo called me back again. Was like, man, they just added youth with the JOs. So I'm like, all right, bet. You know, my bro Delante, who was fighting the JOs. So I kind of felt like felt left out. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'm coming. Yeah. And it was in Dallas, so I ain't never been to Dallas before. So I'm like, all right, bet, I'm there. Yeah. And my weight class was 132. It was so stacked, I had to go up to 141.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, damn. So I had to go up to 41. I made it all the way to the finals, man. I lost to, Brandon Pizarro and shit. So I was sorry, but during that week at the tournament, I ran into Mark Castro at weigh-ins. And he was like, man, I think Ryan might be turning pro. And I'm like, why you know what I'm saying? Like, why you saying that? And he was like, well, Ryan and Lua, which was the number 2, he was like, they might be going pro this summer. So I'm like, why you know what I mean? So he was like, man, you could come in as a number 3, man. You know, USA Boxer. At that time, USA Boxer was in Rio for the Olympics. Yeah. So I ain't really take what Mark said serious, you know what I mean? Oh, I thought he was just talking. You feel me? I'm like, there's no way both of them about to miss going to Russia to Youth Worlds. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you, like, why would you want to miss that? Yeah. So, right after Rio, which was like August, I had got an email that said I got invited to go to Colorado as a number 3 replacement. And I was like, what? So, and I had quit. After June, when I lost to Pizarro, I had quit for a minute and I started working. I was a busboy doing banquets at hotels. Wow. I was busting tables and everything. I hated that job. Yeah. So right around August, September, when they came home from Rio, they sent me the email. And rest in peace too, man. Coach Dante, he got me in shape in like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks. I ain't trained in months. Yeah. He got me in shape in like 2-3 weeks to get ready for Colorado. I go out there, like my nickname was the number 3. Like, oh, wow. Yeah, like my nickname was the number 3. Like, you feel me? Like nobody expected me to win. Like when I got, so you know, once I and look, before I even got out there, I didn't even have a passport. I had to get a bank account, a passport. I ain't have none of that. So man, the crazy part was my mom went to the casino and won some money, man, and
blessings.
Yep, and like it was crazy. Like when they in the email they said you gotta have the passport, and during that time, you know, passports it take a little minute. So I'm like, man, how the hell am I get a passport in time? I ain't even got the money. So that next day, my mom came home, was like, here's the passport money. Like, she was like, I won at the casino. I'm like, what? Mm-hmm. So I went straight, me and my dad went straight to the place, got my passport, came right on time, like probably like 2 days before I left to Colorado. And yeah, when I got there, like it was crazy, man. I'm on the team with Richard Torres, Dylan Price, Castro, you know, Money. Man, it was like, for that time being, I kind of felt like out of place. You know what I mean? Course. I'm like, damn, man, I wasn't supposed to be here. Like, cause on the first day, Coach K, he always like to do motivational speeches and stuff. Like when we first got there, he was saying like, you all here for a reason, you number 1 for a reason. So I'm just sitting there like, damn, like he ain't talking to me, he talking to y'all. You feel me? So I'm just like, man, damn. And then look, I ain't had no training clothes. I was training in Kyrie's. I was running and training in Kyrie's. Like I ain't had no boxing shoes. I didn't have, like, it was really bad. Like I ain't had no clothes for real. I ain't had no hand wraps. My mouth guard, man, they some of the coaches was making fun of my mouth guard. They was like, damn, man, this your mouthpiece. I'm like, yeah, that's all I got. So it was like one of those Walmart joints that you boil. It was all ripped in pieces a little bit. Like it was tore up. They was like, man, we gotta get you a new mouthpiece, man. So I'm just like, dang. So probably like a week before it was time to go to Russia, we go back to the rooms and like it was like a bunch of Under Armour stuff that had my name on it on my bed. Shoes, clothes, like I damn near wanted to shed a tear a little bit. But everybody else was like, they used to that. You feel me? Like everybody was excited, but me, it hit home because I'm like, I got me some running shoes. Like you feel me? I got some boxing shoes. A couple some fists to train in. So I'm like, man, hell yeah. Like I was happy. Yeah. So when it was picture day, I told Matt, I'm like, man, I really appreciate you calling me out here, man. He was like, yeah, man. Yeah, Matt Johnson, yeah. I'm like, he like, man, just go out there and do your best. I'm like, man, I ain't coming home without that gold medal. Like he thought I was playing. Like I'm like, man. Yeah. It's a wrap. You feel me? I ain't got shit to lose. I'm about to go out there, man, just like I'm a die in that ring. You feel me? So we get to Russia. Coach Billy did the draw. You know, he did, you know, Castro, Richards, like everybody had like a cool first night. You feel me? He got to me and was like, Tiger, you got Cuba. Everybody was like, yeah, you can hear a pin drop. I'm like, hey, but like in my head, like I was chilling, but I mean, I'm like, damn. I'm like, ooh. So I'm looking at everybody, they like, damn. So I'm just like, all right, y'all got me fucked up. I'm about to go in there, man. I'm not going home first night. I ain't never went home first night ever in my life. I'm like, it ain't about to start here.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bet. So I fought Cuba, smoked him like 5-0. Like I think I should have gave him 2 counts, but you know they real strict out there. They don't be, but smoked him. I go back to the room. Me and Dylan was roommates. He was like, man, good shit on the fight, man. But I ain't gonna lie. We thought you was going home. I'm like, man, I'm already knowing, man. So, man, it was crazy, man. When I beat Cuba, everybody everybody back at home just went crazy. Like everybody was calling Safo phone because before I even fought, everybody was calling Safo like saying that, you know, I ain't got no experience. You know,
you got Cuba.
I'm a lose. Like everybody was just
expect
like,
him back in the next 24.
Man, Safo was arguing with everybody that called his phone, and mind you, I didn't even have a valid service. I was with Cricket, so I couldn't talk to nobody. I couldn't listen to no music. I had one song.
What song was that, bro?
Man, look.
What song was that, bro?
So look, right?
What was the song?
So look,
Beyonce, I bet.
No, look. I had over 1,000 songs on my Apple Music. And I didn't know that you had to download it before you go overseas. I never did. I didn't know that. So we land in Germany, or like our first stop was in Germany. And like my music just stopped. Yeah. And I'm like, man, why my music ain't working? And they was like, man, you supposed to download it, man. I'm like, what? So I only had one song, man. It was Sean Paul Temperature, man. Oh, wow. So I listened to that. So I literally So look, I listened to that. Oh man, the whole 2 weeks we was there.
Bar for bar.
I was going to sleep.
Was you rocking though?
Man, what? I had my beats on. I'm like, man,
did you have the right tactics?
Man, look.
Turn it on.
Hey, PJ, he trying to look tough. Focus for the fight. Nigga, we know what you listening to, bro.
I'm getting my hair wrapped. I'm like,
bro, that don't even match the energy.
I'm like, man, I'm in my zone listening to one song the whole time. So, yeah, man, it was crazy, man. Like I couldn't talk to my family. Like it was wild. I really felt like I was there on my own. You feel me? So then, and then you know Clint died 2015 or 20. Yeah, he died 2015, the year before. So I was just like, man, because when I was a little kid, I was probably like 10. Right after Raymond went to the Olympics, Clint told me and my dad that I'd be his next Olympian. You know what I mean? Wow. So I always like kind of held on to that. Yeah. He said I was gonna bring home a gold medal for him.
Did it feel like God was intervening in your life? Because like your mom winning money right when you need it.
Like that was like really a wild year, man. Like man, like when when fighters say boxing saved lives, that saved my whole everything. Yeah. You know what I mean? I didn't graduate. Like I was busting tables, man. Like, you know, just doing whatever I can to help out with my mom. You know what I mean? Like I felt like life was ruined. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because, you know, as you growing up, your parents always tell you, man, you got to graduate and get a diploma so you can start your life. Yeah. When I realized I wasn't graduating, I was like, man, I failed. Yeah. Like, I literally failed, especially after I lost to Ryan. I'm like, man, I lost to Ryan. I didn't graduate. You know, I'm watching all my friends. I'm in a group chat with my friends, and they got their caps and gowns. They didn't even know I wasn't graduate. I just felt embarrassed. Like, I was just like, damn. So, I felt like at that time, life was ruined, man. Yeah. Like, you feel me? Like, I feel like I would have just ended up doing something dumb, man, getting caught up. But,
grab gold, though.
You know what I mean? So I went out there, man. I literally, so I didn't have no points. You know what I mean? I was the number 3. So my whole bracket, Cuba,
crazy,
Morocco, Japan, Kazakhstan, and Uzbekistan. And Uzbekistan in the finals was the reigning champion from the year before.
Wow.
So I literally fought the champion in the finals, man. So it was crazy, man. Like,
did you beat him?
Yeah, I ended up winning.
So you brought the gold back.
I brought the gold home. Yep.
Yeah,
and then
they inserted you as the
man. Look,
the team.
Till this day, USA Boxing used my story as a motivation for the kids.
Yeah,
like at all the tournaments. But
that's what's happening.
Man, when I got that gold, man, I killed you not. Like I didn't even know how to feel. Like you feel me? Like I was in shock. Like I was like I'm standing there at the podium.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, damn.
Yeah,
like I literally just got gold. You feel me? So. Like, I'm just standing there. Like, everybody was like, man, I would have been, like, happy or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, I am happy. You feel me? But I was just in shock. Like, you feel me?
Yeah.
So,
when's the next fight?
June 7th.
June 7th.
Yeah.
Where at?
Norfolk, Virginia.
In Virginia. June 7th in Virginia on the undercard of Keyshawn Davis. Make sure y'all check out Tiger Delante Johnson. PJ still doing his thing as coach. And we're going to couple things that we're going to get out here.
I'm going to speak this into existence.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tiger Johnson beats Ryan Garcia for the vacant IBF.
I'm with that. Ooh. I'm looking for that fight.
Welterweight fight.
And
they both at welterweight.
Yeah.
They got to get the... what you left behind, he got to get it lit.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? I hated Ryan, man.
So you got to get that get back.
What? I was so mad. I'm like, man, damn, I lose to this dude.
You got to get that get back. We know we got to come out to. But you know we got to come out to. Sean Paul got to bring you out.
Hey, you know what's crazy? PJ said that too when I told him that. He was like, man, you got to listen to Sean Paul, man. Yeah. But no, the crazy part is though, like. It's like, in a way, I gotta thank him for turning pro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That year. So it's like...
Shout out to Two Made for TV. He said newfound respect for Tiger. So
yeah, hell of a story.
Do you feel like a year like that, because it all came together, and you realized your potential in winning that tournament, winning that gold, do you feel like that year is coming in the pros now, where it just... You lock into a different level, spiritually, mentally, and... Like that's what's like, coming down the pros. Yeah,
man, it gave me. I ain't gonna lie. When I came home, we had 2 weeks to go to Elite Nationals, which is 19 and up. So I come home, and my mom was like, "So what we gonna do about school?" But Coach K was like, "Man, you know you make the team, you get paid a stipend every month." So I'm like, "What?" So I'm like, "I'm there." So we go to Elite Nationals. I had to fight my boy Shu in the semis. That was crazy, but
Carrington.
Yeah, me and Shu had to fight each other. But I ended up winning Elite Nationals, and like, man, it was on and popping from there. Like my confidence was through the roof. I'm like, man, I'm going to the Olympics. You feel me? Like, so I'm like, 2020 is the goal. Man, when I got my first check, and look, mind you, I still ain't had no clothes or nothing. Mm-hmm. When we went January, when it was time to go to Colorado, you know, Duke, Troy, everybody pulled up and had they outfits, Jordans, all types of stuff. Man, I still had my Kyries and the stuff USA Boxing gave me. Mm-hmm. So it was a weekend where everybody check hit. I didn't know though, because it's my first time having a bank account. So Duke came in the room, was like, man, we to the mall, what we doing? I'm like, man, I ain't got no money. He was like, man, check your bank, man. He like, man, we just hit. I checked. I said, man, we there. So we go to the mall. Man, I'm going to Foot Locker. I damn near wanted to shed a tear, man. I'm like, man, I'm about to buy these J's. Yeah. About to buy a fit, all types of stuff, man. So it was like, you know, it was, I feel like, you know, the most time.
Citadel.
The Citadel, yeah. That's where we went to. Citadel, yeah. It was crazy though, man. Like,
all right, be quiet. Don't nobody else say nothing. We gotta get out of here. We like an hour and 30 in. Hey, put up the promo real quick. Saturday, 11 o'clock a.m. Chirp in with us. You gotta sign up. You gotta subscribe. We have our
first annual PorterWay Podcast.
PorterWay Podcast.
Versus Sean Porter.
Versus Sean Porter.
Tiger Johnson. Tiger might be making a special appearance to whoop Sean. Y'all coming?
This is gonna be on our memberships page. So y'all gotta sign up for our membership page on the YouTube. It's right there. Check it out. There's a tier on there for you. Y'all heard me saying that for a long time for the Patreon. Well, now we brought it right here to the YouTube so that y'all don't miss it. Sign up for, subscribe to our membership.
It's a video game.
That way y'all can check this out. Yes, it is the video game. I'm in one. Are you?
No. I'm like,
Listen, goddamn.
All right, cool.
Goods the Animals coming out. We're going to do a boxing seminar. I'm going to take you guys through the fundamentals, the basics, all that good stuff. PJ, come through, help me with that.
I got you.
And then after that, yeah, and he gonna spar. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the kids at the gym that I've been training at. So here, real quick story. I've been trying to get these kids a boxing match for over a year now. We haven't been able to do it. This situation came up with Ray Jackson. Ray Jackson had to postpone. I couldn't cancel this for the kids. So I'm bringing in Goods the Animal. I'm bringing in Scruncho. Hopefully I'm bringing in comedian Mike P. And obviously now we got Tiger. I'm going to get in the ring with everybody. We're going to have a great time. We want you guys right there checking it out with us live. Go to our YouTube channel right here and sign up on the membership page. Motivational message when we get out of here. Favorite rapper, Ant?
50 Cent.
Okay. Favorite rapper, Zatel?
Tupac.
Okay. Favorite rapper, PJ?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Man.
Sean Paul.
Nah, I'll probably have to say Nas.
Nice, I like that. We all over. I like that too. Well, we mostly New York.
We all in New York.
Yeah.
Tupac's from New York too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes.
He from New York.
He's my favorite rapper.
Yeah.
I seen this clip Busta Rhymes had did, and of course, if y'all know me, y'all know that motivation is just pouring out of me. So when I saw this, I said, "Oh, I got a little flip on it." So let's show Bust this clip real quick.
First thing is you gotta be selfish as hell. You gotta be selfish. I don't give a. It's the sacrifice, but without great sacrifice and without great risk, there is no such thing as a great reward. Can't have one. That math will never math. And I don't like this word, but I'm gonna say it because it's true. You have to be a little maniacal with it. Maniac, right? That word isn't good in a lot of situations, but when you're pursuing your destiny, you have to be selfish, you have to be maniacal, you have to be uncompromising. And you have to move in a way when it comes to those three things, where you function completely in a way where it's an unwavering faith. Like, it don't matter how up that might look. It don't matter how much it feel like it ain't gonna work.
Delusional.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional? I'm only gonna call it delusion until it don't work for nobody else to see, but for the whole world to see. And then once the world see it, there's nothing delusional about it. Now your delusion becomes, oh, he was a genius. We didn't see it when he saw it. We didn't understand it when he did. We thought this mother was crazy. But he definitely always figured this thing was the thing to do, and he stuck by that.
Shout out to Busta on that one, man. There was just so many gems in that. You gotta be a little bit crazy, is what Andre Ward always say about boxing. You gotta be a little bit crazy to do this. You gotta be a little bit maniacal, you know, with your thought processes and your dreams and the things that you want to achieve. People gonna look at you like you crazy. That's okay. But the number one thing I took from that I want y'all to take from this, that selfish piece that he talked about. In order to be successful, you have to be selfish. And the Bible says that man ought not be alone, right? So guess what? If we're not meant to be alone, what does that mean? You have to have people in your life that understand your selfishness. You have to have people in your life that when you are going after what you need to go after, you're doing it the way you need to get it done. They understand what you're doing, why you're doing it the way that you're doing it. Get people in your life that understand your selfishness, and you too will be successful. This is the PorterWay.
Stay blessed.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Microsoft Theater here in downtown Los Angeles, brought to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.